What is going on, Pugilism Planet? Everybody, come on in. Keep your hands up at all times. Defend yourself. J. Roos Theory is live. What's up to everybody out there in the boxing world? What's up? Hope you guys are doing all right on this Tuesday evening, depending on where you are, I guess. I think the UK is 5 hours above what I am. Know what I mean? If you haven't subscribed to my backup platform, it's in WJ, the world's most dangerous boxing platform. But I just want to talk about the boxing world is showing love to Big Femi, AJ, Anthony, Joshua. It is what it is. Yo, I was watching Teddy Atlas. I watched the breakdown he did before the fight. And the thing that he was telling Ngannou to do is what got Ngannou in trouble. He told him to switch to southpaw. He said, well, AJ just had two back-to-back fights with a southpaw and he didn't win. So go to southpaw. And that's what got him knocked out. But Teddy Atlas was right when he was talking about how AJ could set him up about going to the body and then coming up top. DT3, the Boom Man in the building. What's up, man? Go subscribe to DT3. I was watching your video last night. You did about everybody has to pay rent to the landlord about Anthony Joshua. Man, you had me cracking up, man. He was saying what is true, that Wilder's not who you thought he was, and AJ's not who you thought he was. So go subscribe to my dude, DT3, the Boom Man. Me, him, and Andrew Tucker all went live for the Day of Reckoning. Go check that out if you want some excitement. And we'll be going live again. Adderey Pennant in the building. Salute. Shout out to Andrew Tucker World, Counterpunch Boxing News, Boxing Wave, Showbiz the Adult. We back June 1st. DT3, the Boom Man said it. You heard it here. We back June 1st. It's going down. It's going down like an elephant in a free fall, y'all. We not playing around. It don't stop and it don't quit. But I see everybody's showing love to AJ. Even most of the MMA world, occasionally you'll get casuals. I think some people are trying to even say it was staged, really. So when Ngannou didn't know where he was at the end of the fight, he was acting. I mean, really? When they asked Ngannou who he'd like to play him if they ever do a movie, he said Idris Elba. But if Ngannou can act that well, he needs to play himself. That dude was not acting. He was out on his feet, didn't know where he was. He was asleep via the right hand from Anthony Joshua. But and there's people that like to I did my video about my victory pizza. There's one guy who's like, you don't know how to eat your food or whatever. Yeah, but I'm eating it. Obviously he's an Ngannou fanboy. So a lot of guys humbled themselves and they're cool. Hey, we've all gotten them wrong, so no harm, no foul. No need to feel bad if you picked Ngannou. Bivol versus Beterbiev. Oh man, yeah. DT3 said Bivol versus Beterbiev. That is a very hard fight to try to pick a winner, man. Of course, I believe Bivol will outwork him, but Beterbiev has the heavier hands. Man, I'm gonna have to really do my homework on these two before I go making a prediction. I like both guys too. It's a shame in some of these fights if anybody has to lose, kind of with AJ and Ngannou. I like both guys. It's a shame anybody had to lose. And even Lennox Lewis, y'all know him and AJ have had their little personal beefs. But even Lennox Lewis put on X, formerly known as Twitter. He said the boxing fraternity has to show Anthony Joshua love because he showed the world you don't play boxing. I'm paraphrasing, but I believe I got most of that right. I know he said boxing fraternity, and I know he said you don't play boxing. 100% facts. You don't play boxing. I know when Lennox Lewis saw that right hand that AJ threw at the end, I know he was like, that kind of looks like an overhand right I've thrown many times. And he usually got the same results too. But yeah, it's just interesting watching people's predictions and then go back and watch them after the fight. It's quite hilarious. Everybody was just, man, Francis Ngannou, man, he's just, yeah, he's a tough guy, but you're acting like him being tough means AJ's not tough. Two people can be tough at the same time. You know what I mean? Um, Also, I was watching some of the talk about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, and Joe Rogan was saying what I was saying. He's like, it doesn't matter what age Mike Tyson is. He said once Jake Paul sees Mike Tyson in the corner doing this, he's gonna get flashbacks of watching Tyson highlights and be shook. Absolutely. I'm just like, Teddy Atlas said something else. I don't agree with everything Teddy Atlas says, but he's got a very, very, very strong boxing IQ. And what he said is power never dies. If you take care of yourself, that's absolutely true. If you could bench press 300 when you're 21, and you can bench press 300 when you're 61 or even more, how are you going to tell me you lost a step? People just like to say that when you reach it. Nowadays, you reach 30, they're like, oh, he lost a step. What are you basing that off of? Look at Khalil Mack on the Chargers. He's reaching an advanced age in football years. Had the best numbers he's ever had. Look how many sacks he had. In fact, Chargers do not trade Khalil Mack. You can send Joey Bosa to be with his brother in Frisco, but do not trade Khalil Mack and bring in Derrick Henry. He's a free agent. If y'all don't get Derrick Henry takes all the pressure off Justin Herbert. Another topic. Got sidetracked. Come on, Jay. Focus. Anyway, Teddy Atlas said, age never dies. I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. But, there's still people out there. Can you believe there are people worried for Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, man? Really? And if it's an exhibition like I'm hearing with headgear and 18-ounce gloves, like why? If Mike Tyson's no threat, why would we have to go to all the precautions? And then some will say, well, it's to protect Mike. Is it really? You really think Mike Tyson needs to be protected from Jake Paul? Come on now. Man, man, man. The world is funny, You have a couple birthdays and they write you off. Adore says boxing is better than MMA. Absolutely 100 times 4. Absolutely. I mean, look at it. Most people, when they go to an MMA fight, they rather see stand up than all that grappling. That gets boring real quick. Why do you think wrestling in the Olympics isn't very much watched? Nobody wants to see all that rolling around and hugging and all that. We want to see the stand up. That's why Francis Ngannou has brought in such big numbers when he was doing UFC fights, because he was sending people to the canvas in the octagon. You know what I mean? So they want to see stand up in the MMA. So boxing is all stand up. You got to have a high boxing IQ. And Anthony Joshua was setting up Francis Ngannou for that knockout. That's why the last knockout, he just came out and just put his whole 252 into it. Pow. And it was a wrap. Adore says, you were speaking the truth. Hey, I appreciate it. So are you, man. I watch boxing any day. If there's a big boxing match going on in MMA, I'm watching boxing. But that's me and Adore. Some of you might pick the MMA, not me. Only way I pick MMA is if it's John Jones versus Ngannou. That's the only way, and it depends who's boxing that night. If Joshua's fighting Fury, I'm watching Joshua Fury. But that's just Jay Roos. I let loose. You couldn't hang in the noose. Try to call a truce. None of that. I'm running that. See? Freestyling, you know what I mean? The same way Anthony Joshua, Wally's in the building. What's up, Wally? He says, want to hear a joke? Women's rights. And what does that have to do with anything I'm talking about, Mr. Wally? He just comes with the random, want to hear a joke? Women's rights. Okay. Are you trolling, Mr. Wally? Or are you just being funny? But back to what I was saying. Um, the whole boxing, the combat community is showing love to Big Femi. Who's Femi? That's Anthony Joshua's middle Nigerian name, if you didn't know. And how could you not show him? Am I transgender? Nah, but I think your dad is, because he had you. And I'm going to send you on your way. There you go. Am I transgender? What kind of. These trollers be coming with some weak lines. Are you transgender? No, but your daddy is, apparently, because he brought you into the world. So that's gonna take some explaining, ain't it? These must be some Jake Paul fans coming in. Orangano. Baked Bean looks like you want to get sent to the block party too. Peace out, homie. There you go. Get you up out of here, you weirdo. I guess this is the troll hour. These are the same people that you walk by on the street and they do one of these, like, oh, I can't look him in the eye. But anyway, back to the lecture at hand. The way Anthony Joshua came in with that right, it's like he knew what was about to happen. It's like he knew, okay, I'm about to end this dude's night right here. He just put his whole 252 into it, just whap. And you saw the results. In fact, who was it? Timothy Bradley said AJ hit Ngannou so hard he put him in a yoga pose. I was like, oh, shoot. But yeah, Paulie Malignaggi said he doesn't like to hear, AJ save boxing. He's like, boxing was okay. Boxing. Yeah, but there were still people out there, like someone told him, there were still people out there talking about MMA was tougher than boxing. And Francis Ngannou was going to come in here and wipe the floor with Joshua because remember what Ruiz did to Joshua? How far back do you guys have to go to keep pulling that up? And there's still people out there talking about, AJ doesn't have the best chin. What are you basing that off? Do you think MMA will go extinct? No, I think it's here to stay. They got a lot of followers. Unfortunately, a lot of them are trailer park. As you can see, those are the angry people, mad, Yeah, I think it's here to stay. There's still some good matches out there to make. Lil Bullet is in the building. Let me make Lil Bullet a moderator. Let's see. Gave you the wrench, Lil Bullet. If you see any more of these estrogen filled people, just get them up out of here. You know what I'm saying? You could tell he was winding that right up. Yeah, he cocked it and brought it from his knees, just like, because you could tell when Ngannou got up that he wasn't quite 100% focused. What set you from, cuz? The opposite of you. What set you from, cuz? Let me get you up out of here. Dude trying to gangbang. Get up out of here. What set you from, cuz? I ain't from no set. I'm from the set that'll slap you silly, though. Yeah, I was gonna say too before I got sidetracked. The same way that AJ Went pow to Ngannou's chin. That's the same thing I would do to the boxing toilet. I mean outlet. Keeps changing the name of his platform. Now it's like what? What is it called? I forget. But his name is Ross. So it'd be Roos versus Ross. No problem, little bullet. You have great comments and all that kind of stuff. So appreciate you, man. Great comments. Lil Bullet knows his stuff. I keep trying to get the subscribers on my platform that seem to know the sport to start a platform because we need more platforms out there that have knowledge of the sport. There's a lot of people out there that don't have knowledge of. They just start talking, and you can tell they don't know what they're talking about. I'm interested to see what Chael Sonnen thinks about. I see he did a video about Ngannou Joshua, but I didn't get to watch it yet. I see that all he was talking about Jake Paul was the real deal. I was like, really? Really, Chael? Chael is an interesting guy. He has a lot of takes I wouldn't agree with. Yakuba Bombao. Hey, what's up? Hello. Thanks for tuning in. Much respect. We just talking about the world showing respect to Big Femi, aka AJ Anthony Joshua. Break down the right hand. Well, he was setting up Ngannou, you know. They knew, according to Ben Davis, they knew that Ngannou was going to parry some of those body shots, and that was leaving his face wide open, especially when he switched to southpaw. AJ, some of his best fights are against southpaws. Charles Martin, I know he lost both fights to Usyk, but I used to say back even when he lost, I was like, he may have lost those fights, but he learned a whole lot even in those losses just by fighting Usyk, because Usyk is one of the greats. So I know people say Usyk isn't a knockout puncher, but just going 12 rounds with Usyk, believe me, when you're in there, you learn a whole lot. Do I think Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder will ever happen? I kind of doubt it. I think they're the modern day Lennox Lewis, Riddick Bowe. People kept clamoring for that, and then somebody would lose, and then it would happen, and then once Riddick Bowe got beat bad by Andrew Galata, then yeah, I don't think it'll happen. Now maybe if Deontay can string along maybe 3 wins, and then against have two kind of easy fights, and then have a tough one and knock this guy out, then yeah, we can eventually get that. But now I keep hearing Wilder versus Ngannou fight. I'm hearing a lot of talk of that. And I originally picked Ngannou, like I've said, to win that, but the way I saw Ngannou respond to that overhand right from Joshua, I'm not confident that he could take that from Deontay. Lil Bullet says chances are a good cricket batsman wouldn't make a star baseball hitter. Yeah, exactly. Likewise, MMA won't migrate well to boxing, two different sports. Yeah. Just like a lot of rugby players wouldn't make good, NFL players. They're tough and stuff, but whole different sport, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's hard to transition from one to the other. Just like a lot of dudes that know martial arts and karate get the stuffing beat out of them on the street because, when they do these martial arts classes, they sit there and everything is almost choreographed. When you're in a street fight, ain't nothing choreographed. You don't know where a punch is coming from. You don't know if they're going to try to take you to the ground. So, MMA, boxing, two different sports. So, what's next for you know what, too? I'm thinking because Zhang, I'm gonna switch topics, but it was still on the same card. Zhang and Parker. I think I'm gonna actually. I'm sticking with my first pick against my better judgment. I stuck with Zhang, even though he came in at a real high weight. But I think Zhang, once he goes back and watches the footage, I think he'll see everything that he did wrong. He didn't jump on Parker when he had the opportunity. In one of those knockdowns, Parker seemed really hurt too. He just Zhang didn't have the energy to finish him off. So I think he'll come in at probably 10 pounds lighter, maybe even 15, and hopefully he doesn't have 2 gallons of water before the fight. You need water, for your brain, but hopefully he doesn't come in too waterlogged. And I think he can stop Joshua. I said Joshua. I think he can stop Joseph Parker in the rematch. I just, I think he'll notice everything he did wrong because he just pretty much walked around like this for 12 rounds and kept doing that every time he got hit. It's like, come on. And a lot of people seem to be agreeing with what I say about it was a boring fight too. I don't even really want to see a rematch. I just hope that Zhang lets his hands go. If Zhang doesn't let his hands go in the rematch, Parker again decision. I think boxing would help you more on the street. Yeah, if you can knock a dude out, because a lot of these street fights go to the ground. So if you can knock a dude out before he tries to take you down, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. There's very few dudes in the street that actually know how to fight too. If you've ever watched fights on YouTube or whatever, and you see these dudes fighting, a lot of them fight like girls. You've even seen rappers like Meek Mill and them try to hit the heavy bag, and they look absolutely atrocious. So it's a lot of tough talk out there, but not too many people know how to actually throw a punch, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm not too big on a Zane Parker rematch, but I guess it's gonna happen. Don't know when. So I think eventually Joshua and Parker might have to fight, even though they're cool. I think they'll eventually cross paths again. Of course, Joshua won the first time, but a lot of people say the ref was stopping the action every time Parker would let his hands go. So this time, hopefully, it'll be on a neutral grounds and we won't get no shady business. Joshua versus Hergovich. I got AJ all day in that one. I saw Hergovich doing an interview yesterday, and said he wasn't impressed really with AJ's victory. He's pretty much saying he did what he was supposed to do, and he's ready to fight whoever. But I'm just not impressed by Hergovich, especially after watching what Zhang did. Zhang kind of ran out of gas there, but Zhang was roughing that dude up. So I just don't see this AJ too. Nah, this AJ's scary. This AJ dude just he just knocked Francis Ngannou around and looked around like where's my dinner? But I would be interested in seeing that Joshua because he's gonna have to have a fight while he's waiting for the winner of Usyk Fury, then the rematch. Then he's got to wait for the outcome of Zhang versus Parker rematch. So it's going to be a while before Joshua fights either the winner of those two fights. So he's going to have to stay busy. And I do believe Hergovich is the guy. I know Dillian White is back. Maybe they can make that fight happen. You all know what happened with that rematch. So, yeah. Dillian White. Of course, a lot of people don't believe Dillian White beat Jermaine Franklin. Um, it was tight. It could have gone either way. But a lot of people in the UK that were there at the event said that Jermaine won. Adore says, am I saying your name right, Adore, or is it Adore? Adore? Pennant. I hate to mispronounce people's name. Anthony Joshua will become heavyweight champion again. Yeah, man, champion. He will become champion if he stays focused, which he does. Joshua's a very disciplined guy. He stays in the gym. He loves to train. He loves the discipline of the sport. Even before he fought in Ghana, he was talking about like, I just want to hurry back and get back into the gym. He just loves to work out, man. Even when he retires, he's gonna stay in shape because he's a gym rat. So that doesn't leave you, and that's what's helping him in these fights. Is that he trains constantly, and he had 4 fights in 11 months. He and Parker have been very busy, very active, and that's why they're winning. And other people were not. You know, people were shocked that Deontay Wilder didn't have any answers for Parker. I wasn't shocked. The dude is inactive. He's inactive, you know. It's like with anything else. You don't use it, you lose it. So, you know, he still had the power. He just didn't know when to throw it. Well, I guess he still had the power. I thought he looked more emaciated than ever. I was like, I know Wilder's never been the biggest on the lower half, but he looked extra small. Little Bullet says, I remember Matt Legg saying that when Joshua hits you with a good shot, it's like being hit with a house brick. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I've seen some pretty hard punches come from AJ. You know, Eric Molina, you remember that? It's like he almost turned around when Joshua hit him. And Eric Molina gave Deontay Wilder all types of problems. Joshua tore that dude up in what, 2 rounds? So look at the resume between Fury and AJ, the common opponents. Fury beat Klitschko by points. Joshua beat Klitschko by knockout. Wallin gave Fury fits, cut him. That went to the decision. Fury won. Joshua stopped Wallin. And Ngannou got a split decision loss to Fury. A lot of people, including me, think that Ngannou won. Joshua knocks out Ngannou in 2 rounds. So you tell me what's going to happen when Luke Fury meets Femi Joshua. You tell me what's going to happen. I like both guys. I like Tyson Fury. Wish he would stop using bad language so much. Same with Ryan Garcia. But I like Tyson Fury. I like the whole family. Shane Fury, Peter Fury, Big John Fury. I like them all. Got respect for them all. They're all fighting men. They're all fighting men. But I think this AJ right here, he's like a bigger version of Mike Tyson almost. He just goes in there. I think you're gonna be seeing more knockouts like this because his confidence is building. It's like once he did that to Hellenius, it's like that took his mind. Ben Davison must really know how to get in these fighters' heads and solve whatever was going on that was stopping them from, you know, because people kept saying AJ's not the same AJ, so he's doing something. Ada Reese says Daniel Dubois versus Ngannou. Oh, Dubois easily. Yeah, Dubois hits very hard. He might have quit in a couple fights, but yeah, Daniels, ooh, yeah. You might get another highlight reel from that fight. I don't even think Francis would take that fight. If his people around him are intelligent, they would not let Francis Ngannou step to Daniel Dubois at all. Rafael Gonzalez, what's up to you, man? He says Tyson or Jake. I got Tyson all. If it's a real fight, and if it's an exhibition, then you know it's probably be Jake. But yeah, I keep hearing it's gonna be a exhibition. I hope not. I was gonna try to go to the fight if it's legit, but I don't want to see no headgear and gloves the size of a planet. I ain't trying to see that. I don't think anybody is. We've seen too many exhibitions that didn't live up to the hype. Roy Jones, Mike Tyson, Roy Jones, NDO champ. The Roy Jones NDO champ, I still don't know what that was. I did a video on it on my backup platform in WJ. It got over 35,000 views, a 2-minute video where I'm just like, what was that? Looked like a video game from the late 80s, early 90s. Billy X says, sit down, cuz. Why don't you come sit me down, Billy X? I will smash your jaw. But first, I'm going to send you to the block party. Come on here talking crazy. Think I'm scared of a gangbanger, nigga? I grew up in Southeast San Diego. up amongst the hardest of G's. You're not gonna do anything, Billy X, except get your jaw broken. Guess it's what time is it? I guess it's when the trolls come out. The trolls come out at night. The trolls come out at night. Trying to read the next comment. Oh, there isn't one. But what was I talking about? I lost my thought. Uh, anyway, yeah, AJ's gonna have to stay busy against somebody, and I think I was talking about how his confidence was reached a new level once he knocked out Hellenius. Let me see what this Skittles dude is talking about. What up, bro? Was good from NZ. What's up, Skittles 420? Thanks for tuning in, man. Just here talking some heavyweight boxing. Shout out to New Zealand in the building, Skittles 420. Yeah, man. I've been watching a lot of David Tua's reels on Instagram. That dude is training like he got a fight coming up. I think David Tua's over there in New Zealand right now. Tough, tough fighter, man. You guys ever want to see a nice highlight reel? Go pull up some of David Tua's fights. You will not be disappointed. Yeah, David Tua. And a lot of nice Samoans over there, man. Every time I meet a Samoan, they're like some of the most respectful, nice people I ever met in my life. Just real down to earth, humble, no egos. You don't have to worry about them doing any funny business. So, yeah, shout out to New Zealand, Skittles 420 in the building. But if AJ doesn't fight Hergovich, I would still like to see that Dillian White rematch. I know a lot of people weren't big on that. They're like, oh, we don't want to see it. I wanted to see it because Dillian White has a huge mouthpiece, and I just wanted to see it because I know how it's going to end. Uppercut. You remember the first one where his arm was over the ropes? Some people think my little Bullet name is me trying to be all gangster when actually Bullet is my dog, and he's definitely not little. Okay, I got you. That's what's up, man. I got you. There's actually a rapper from San Diego that grew up like down the street from me. He calls himself J.O. Felony Bullet Loco. I think now he uses his real name, James Savage. But yeah, rapper Mitchy Slick. He grew up right by me at the blah Bayview Apartments, Bay Vista Apartments, I should say, not Bayview. We both went to the same high school, Lincoln High. So yeah, but so either Hergovich for Joshua or Dillian White. If he can't get either of those, then maybe. I know AJ told Jarrell Miller to his face, I'm like never fighting you, but that's kind of some unfinished business. Jarrell had a lot of talk. Daniel humbled him a little bit, but I would love to see Jarrell Miller in the ring with AJ. I think he would kind of calm some of that talk down now because he got his first beating at the hands of Daniel Dubois, and he sees AJ's a different monster right now. So I think that mouthpiece might be have some cotton in it right now. I think he might want to chill with all that. But I would still. So those are my three top choices for AJ's interim fights before he gets the winner of Fury Usyk or the winner of Zhang Parker. So I would say either Hergovich, Dillian White, or Jarrell Miller. Those are the three fights I would love to see AJ in. And I'm sure Prince Turkey probably is thinking of who's going to bring the most excitement after what just happened over here. Teddy Atlas was funny when he was talking about the fight, what might happen. He was saying over in the desert, you get mirages. Like you think you see things that you aren't seeing. So I guess he was saying, I think he was trying to say that maybe Ngannou was fooling everybody, making us think that he's this destructive boxing monster when he really wasn't. But you know, it's just incredible too how good that Ngannou looked against Fury. But Teddy Atlas was talking about how he kind of countered with that left hook that knocked Fury down, but then he kept relying on it, and then he would lead with it, and that's going to leave you open if you lead with the left hook instead of countering with it like a check left hook. So he started relying on that, and I think Ben Davison and AJ knew that. They're like, okay, he's going to try to use that same left hook he used against Fury on us because Ngannou would give it away in the interviews. He was saying, I think if I hit AJ with that punch, I don't think he gets up. So after saying that, I hear he doesn't have a good chin, we'll find out. So, he found out. He found out. Some of the people from the UFC are really being classy about the win that Joshua got. Daniel Cormier showed a lot of love to Anthony Joshua. Michael Bisping is showing love to Joshua. There's just a lot of guy. Israel Asanya, from what I've seen, he's not taking anything from Anthony Joshua. It's just people just see striking and punches and they think it's the same sport when they're nothing alike. For one, boxing, if you go 12 rounds, is 36 minutes. MMA fight is what, 25 minutes? So, yeah, you know. Plus, I think it was Paulie Malignaggi. I think it was him on Pro Box TV was talking about in MMA. When you get hurt, you can like grab a guy and wrestle him and get your wits back. In boxing, you get knocked down, they start counting, and you start thinking, "Do I really want to be here?" It gives you time. It gives time for fear to set in, questioning yourself. So it's two different animals. Personally, I think Dillian White got a bit complacent with boxing. I don't think his heart was in it, which is a shame because I had high hopes for him. Yeah, Dillian, I don't know, man. He seems to be focused, but it's sporadic. He can't seem to keep that same focus like a great champion would do. People that were great champions could keep that focus. Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, Ali, people like David Tua, they just knew how to keep that focus. And you're not going to always feel like going and doing what you're supposed to do to get ready for a fight, but you do it anyway. That's the sign of a great champion. If you waited to feel like it every time you did something right, then I mean, where would you be? But yeah, it'll be interesting to see Dillian White's first comeback. I know he's gonna want to tune up before he fights AJ though. He ain't gonna admit it, but he'll definitely want to tune up before he mixes it up with Big Femi at this point. These fighters are too they're not gonna admit that, but I wouldn't say it publicly either. I'm not gonna say, oh, he looked too ferocious. I'm gonna have a tune up. So they're not gonna say it, but they're thinking it. They don't want to mix it up with AJ. They want to get in there and have an easy fight, get a little confidence, put out a meme and a highlight reel, and then go after AJ. Do you know what I mean, y'all? Dillian White has got the heaviest left hand in boxing. He definitely has a good left hook. He has good shots to the body. Dillian White has very long arms too, man. That dude's arms are very long. I wish they'd measure them like I always say, armpit to fist. I'm just curious what his reach is, man. So yeah, Dillian White has got a very good left hook. He got AJ's attention with that left hook in their fight. I remember Dillian saying that he was amazed how quick Anthony Joshua would recover from shots, and he's like, "Man, what's going on?" So he upped his training and all that after that fight, and he thought, I need to start hitting the gym a little harder. That's what happens after you get knocked out. It gives you clarity. It gives you clarity once you get knocked out. You can see things clear then. Dillian was talking different. I just go back to all the dudes that and Gato didn't do too much trash talking, but there's all kind of fighters you can go back and watch their tapes where they were talking all this stuff. They'll say before and after, then after the fight they're completely humble. So a good butt whooping can change your whole perspective on life. You know, you start seeing things clear. You have a moment of clarity once you get your head handed to you. So getting knocked out isn't, I guess, necessarily all bad if you use it to your advantage. You know what I mean? And to all those people out there saying Jake Paul is gonna beat Mike Tyson, he's too old. Would you like to get hit by Mike Tyson? Do you really think Mike Tyson can no longer punch? Are you absolutely crazy? People are funny though. You ever notice the people that got brave with Mike Tyson on the street too? Like some people try. Who's dumb enough to try Mike Tyson on the street? But apparently some people are, and it never ended good for him. Remember Mitch Blood Green? That dude looked like he went through a meat grinder after Mike got done with him. Like it's bad enough getting hit by Mike Tyson with a glove on, but a bare fist. Wow, really? Yeah, man. So the boxing world is getting very interesting right now, especially in the heavyweight division. That's the main division that I focus on. But Terrence Crawford, one of my favorite fighters, he has the strength of a heavyweight. That's why I like him. And his ring IQ is sharp. I hear he's going to be fighting Chris Eubank Jr. At least they're in talks, and I would like to see that. But you pretty much know how that one's going to end. It's kind of like a Rocky movie. You enjoy the journey, but you pretty much know what's going to happen in the end. Other than Rocky 1 and Rocky Balboa, Rocky's going to win the fight. And in this case, Terrence Crawford, who fights nothing like Rocky, he has to be Rocky because Crawford is not losing to Chris Eubank Jr. in any way. He might lose the trash talking battle because Terrence Crawford is more of a, I'm just going to let my fist do the talking type of guy. And Chris Eubank likes to do that. And if he tries to get in Crawford's head, he's really going to get beat. That'll have the opposite effect if he tries to do a lot of talking with Crawford. Crawford just go in there and take him out quickly. If Errol Spence couldn't stop Crawford, there's no way that Chris Eubank can, especially since Bomac was in the corner for Chris Eubank for his last fight. I'm pretty sure Bomac is going to be working the corner for Terrence Crawford because that's where his loyalty is. So, you know, I don't know if he'll tell Crawford any of the inside secrets or what, but Bomac and Crawford, after Bomac just worked with Eubank, I don't see how there's any chance that Eubank can beat Crawford. Not at all. Dillian White used to train a few miles up the road from me in a town called Lowborough, pronounced La. Oh, okay. That's what's up. That's what's up. Have you ever met Dillian White? 'Cause- 'White? 'Cause- 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 ' what's interesting is Harold the Shadow Knight, who worked with Lennox Lewis, I think his whole pro career was working with Dillian White. I don't think he is now though, but I thought that was a good connection. I think he could have taught him a lot. Ennis for for oh man. Anyway though, yeah, I think Harold the Shadow Knight could have taught him a lot because working with Lewis all them years, I think he could have given him a lot of game, but I guess it didn't work out. I forget which fight that Harold was with him. I don't know if he was with him when Povetkin stopped him in that first fight. Little Bullet says sadly no, but I think he's got a very good sense of humor. Yeah, Dillian is funny, man. And it said made you chuckle. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yeah, Dillian. Any press conference with Dillian White, you're gonna get some laughs. Can you imagine? I keep saying this, but can you imagine a press conference with he and Jarrell Miller? That would be crazy. That would be, man. You could almost sell that pay per view. You could almost sell that press conference on pay per view right there. That would be Entertainment City. I don't know. Speaking of Jarrell Miller, what's next for him? I know he's had some issues outside of the ring, but he's gonna have to get in there and look good after that Dubois beating. I mean, it was kind of funny how at the before the stoppage, he's looking at the ref like you gonna help me here, and then Dubois is like, nope. So I thought that was funny. It's just funny when dudes do a lot of talking, man, and then just get mopped, mopped without a bucket. And it's Fareed. Oh, I don't know how to say your last name. I don't even like sports. You don't like sports? I like football and shooting baskets, but boxing is my thing. Not really. I like baseball a little bit. Like the atmosphere. Little Bullet says a Miller White presser would be hilarious. Yeah, man. Yeah, you would think Cat Williams was in there writing the jokes. It would be so funny. That would be hilarious. I was saying on another video, I think Antonio Tarver's working with Big Baby Miller. I don't know if it's official, but I know they were working on the pads together. Antonio Tarver can teach him a lot too, a whole lot. Antonio Tarver, I did a video called out Bernard Hopkins. He wants to fight, excuse me, on the undercard of the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. It's still funny to me though that people keep talking about Mike Tyson's age. Why is wine the only thing that gets better with age? Why human beings can't get better? That's so ridiculous. But people aren't thinkers anymore. They let the TV and the media think for them. Thinking in the future will probably be a crime. It's like it hurts people physically to have an original thought. They have to let someone else tell them what to think. Mike Tyson is too old. I mean, I know he looks ferocious and he's fast, but he's 57 and he'll be 58. Okay. And what? He can't punch anymore because he's 57 and 58. He just all of a sudden forgot how to throw a correct punch. Yet we've just seen him throw many correct punches, and we've seen him show Ngannou how to throw correct punches. But when he's in the ring, he's gonna all of a sudden forget what to do. I tell you, man. Like Creed said in Rocky, be a thinker, not a stinker. Speaking of Apollo Creed, man. Carl Weathers, man. That dude, Carl Weathers was a he just had such great screen presence when you saw him in the Rocky movies. I think Rocky 3 is an underrated movie too. You know, a lot of people talk about Rocky 4, but Rocky 3 was underrated. I mean, it's just a great story. Stallone even said that when he didn't know where he was going to go with Rocky 4 because he had pretty much done everything. So Rocky 3, great movie, man. I like all the Rocky movies, but certain one stands out. East Oakland in the house. What's good? Carlos Encinas. What's up to East Oakland? The Bay is in the building, y'all. Some of the hardest rappers in the world come from Oakland. Spice One, Richie Rich. Shout out to East Oakland. My former San Diego Chargers and the Raiders have had a big rivalry. Anytime the Raiders now in Vegas and the Chargers now in Los Angeles, but anytime those two teams come together, man, you don't want to miss it. Little Bullet says, "Can you remember that interview when Dillian White bust out laughing when Fury beat Wilder?" I was just thinking of that when you mentioned Dillian being funny. I was just thinking of that when Dillian just busted out and laughs. It's like it almost made you laugh with him. Like Dillian's a trip, man. He has a YouTube platform, and he's teaching other teenagers and stuff how to box, but he hasn't put out anything in a while. Guess he was kind of waiting till all his personal drama kind of died down. A lot of these boxers involved with Deontay Wilder got outside beef, like Jarrell Miller and Deontay, Dillian and Deontay. They got like some type of outside beef. I just wish they'd settle it like men in the ring. Oh, yesterday when I was talking about my top knockouts, I don't know. I touched on it, but I didn't. I don't know how I forgot Luis Galata. That was over in what, one round. Remember Galata's face after he first got knocked down by Lewis? He was like this, like he was in shock. Like what just happened? Yeah, that was crazy. Galata was a tough guy though. I just wish he his mind at the time was kind of appeared to be weak because anytime somebody put pressure on him, he'd hit him low, he'd bite him. He was biting before Mike Tyson. I think that was before anyway. I know he's on I think it was Tuesday Night Fights. He was fighting this Samoan dude, bit him right here in the neck when they was in a clinch. I was like, dude, like really? Me and Teddy Atlas, we don't agree on everything. I was just thinking of Teddy because that's what I watched before I came on here. But me and Teddy don't agree on everything. But he, like I said, he's got a real high ring IQ, and he agreed. We agree on the same thing about we believe if Crawford ever fights Canelo, Crawford would win that fight. And people say Canelo's too big for Crawford. Not at all. Crawford is like 180 walking around, and he's very strong. Very strong. He's very strong, man. Have you seen this dude wrestling? And they kept before his fight with Spence, everybody kept talking about that Spence was the bigger guy. But when you looked at him in the ring, it looked like Crawford was the bigger guy. And Showbiz, the adult who went to the fight, said there was a point in that fight early on where they were closer in the clinch, and Crawford pushed Spence back like he was nothing, and the whole crowd was like, "Oh," he's like, "We kind of knew at that point it was over." Crawford is a very strong dude. I mean, I've grown up with dudes like this in the hood where you look at them and they might look like they're small or not as big as you. They might weigh 150, 160, and they are strong and can fight. I grew up with a dude named Ed, and this dude, he was like 160 soaking wet, could knock out a dude my weight, man. And my peoples have seen him do it. So it's like some dudes just have freakish strength, and Terrence Crawford is one of them dudes. You could just look at him. That's why he's so hard to beat. He's tough mentally and physically. You mix those two together, it's a problem. It's a problem. I don't know if you guys saw that footage of Tank Davis beating Devin Haney all around the ring from years ago, but it's caused a lot of controversy because, like I've said, back in the day, you weren't allowed to talk about what goes on in the gym. You know, trainers wouldn't even let cameras in the gym, but now everybody's got a cell phone, so they might be acting like they're on their phone and they're filming. I'm surprised gyms don't start saying, "Hey, everybody leave their cell phone in this bucket over here," because a lot of footage is getting out, and I don't know. Times are changing. Um, Times are changing. People now show sparring footage, and a lot of fighters are getting mad about it, especially when they feel like they're not being treated right in the footage. Like, okay, you showed a part where I'm getting beat up. You didn't finish it when I was winning the fight. So I think that was Devin Haney's complaint. I think he might have come on later on, but nobody showed that. Little Bullet says, I wonder how many of your subs have seen the fight reel of Jack Dempsey versus Jess Willard. I'm not sure I've even seen that, Little Bullet. Now I've seen Jack Dempsey, but I can't recall which fights I've seen of him, but he was a monster. But now you're gonna make me go back and watch that. Little Bullet knows his boxing, man. Like a boxing historian right here. And I like talking to people like this. You just talk boxing all day. I'm gonna have to check that out though. Jack Dempsey was a tough man. I was on Dusty Vision TV. Shout out to him. Go subscribe. And we were talking about how tough Jack Johnson was, man, in a time when racial tension was at a high. That interview is supposed to be coming out this month that I did with Dusty Vision TV. He's from LA, and he has mainly like a urban thing where he talks to rappers and like ex gang members and current gang members, people in the pen. But I interviewed him, me and Andrew Tucker, and so I was on his platform too. And that interview should be coming out this month. He released a little segment of it for Black History Month where we were talking about Jack Johnson and real professionally done. Brought in Ali and Mike Tyson. Are you filming from jail? Absolutely not. Yeah, you thought the brick wall was jail? Nah, man. Nah, never been locked up. No tattoos. No tattoos. But yeah, a lot of them guys back then were tough, man. The gloves weren't even as well padded as they are today. They'd have like what fight 40 some rounds and stuff. I don't know how long each round was, but just the fact that you could fight that long shows mental power and endurance. Yeah, them dudes was tough back then. They'd have nowadays boxers be having like one fight, maybe two a year. These dudes, man, they just fought like who's next? Who's next? They didn't. There was no long periods of idle time just chilling like they do today. I think it's so much money in professional boxing now that people don't. They're not hungry to keep fighting, and that's what's impressive about people like Floyd Mayweather and AJ. They keep that eye of the tiger. They don't be like, well, my bank account's full. I'm gonna chill out, watch some Netflix. No, they train like they still broke, and it takes a special person to do that. That's why when people were questioning AJ's hunger, I'm like, how are you gonna question a guy that he showed you his emotion after losing to Usyk? You've never seen him out of shape. If you didn't care, you sure wouldn't be getting emotional after a fight. So it's like, I don't know, people. aren't really thinkers nowadays. Like I said, they just kind of let everybody tell them what to think. Allegedly, he broke Willard's eye socket, cheekbone, and jaw with one punch. He also knocked six of his teeth out. Ooh, whoa, wow. You talking about the fight you were just telling me about? Because I remember Jack Johnson hit some dude, and maybe that's what you're talking about with the teeth. Because I was talking about that on Dusty Vision. Yeah, them dudes were no joke back then. I'm not saying fighters nowadays are jokes, but it seemed like they just took the sport more seriously back then. You know, it was the most brutal fight in boxing history. Man, I've seen some brutal fights though. You remember the one between Hasim Rockman and Holyfield, where Hasim had that big old, what do they call it? Hematoma. Looked like he was growing another head out of his forehead. That was from headbutts, from what I understand. I've seen some brutal fights, man. Holyfield was in a lot of brutal fights. The air bite, all that. Spook says fighters these days play soggy biscuit before they come out to the ring. Yeah, man. These current fighters are tough, but they're not. So I'm not gonna say the whole, all of boxing, but some of the guys got that old school mentality, and they're the ones that keep winning, even when people say they won't. So those are the ones that stand out. The fighters that have that old school mentality. The ones that don't, they fall by the wayside rather embarrassingly, as you've seen. There's nothing wrong with if you're gonna lose. There's nothing wrong with losing. If you gave it your all and that's just the best you could do. I mean, that's different than somebody that drank for 6 weeks and then goes into the ropes expecting to win. People putting their hard-earned money. Spook says they literally fight tomato cans. Yeah, man, that's facts. Yeah, they fight tomato cans and they want you to give them credit for it. Shout out to Spook in the building. Little Bullet says, "You think you've seen brutal, you'll change your mind when you." I'm waiting for the comment for it to move up. Yeah, I gotta. I'm gonna try to check that out tonight, man. When you watch Jack Dempsey versus just also it's Jack Dempsey that did it. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out, man. Man, you go into a fight with all your teeth and walk out like, what just happened? No more. What does he say? He says no more boxing gloves, just can openers. That's pretty funny, man. Yeah, the '90s to me was the era, man, and that's what I like so much about that Joshua Klitschko fight. It like took me back to the '90s when you all the '90s was the best era for heavyweights to me. And people didn't appreciate it then. I did though. I knew there was a lot of great fighters back then. Yeah, David Tua, Ika Beabuchi, George Foreman, Lennox Lewis, Michael Moore. Man, it was just Andrew Galata, Riddick Bowe, Joe Hip, Tommy Morrison. It was just the heavyweight division was deep. Man, it's deep now, but the '90s was the era for all that. It was the Four Kings era for me. Wow. Yeah, man. It's a little Quan Big Gun said Tommy Morrison was a bum. He wasn't a great. Tommy Morrison was a bum. Wow, why do you say that? He wasn't a great fighter. I think he just wouldn't stay focused. I wouldn't say he was a bum though. He didn't have the best chin in the world, but Morrison loved the women, and the women apparently loved Tommy Morrison. Tommy Morrison has an interesting story though. Y'all should check out his documentary. He didn't quite have what they say he had, if you know what I mean. Allegedly. Little Bullet says, wow. You know, might not like Tommy Morrison, but it takes heart for anybody to step in those ropes. So I would hesitate on calling any body a bum that steps in those ropes. You know, you're literally risking your life for other people's entertainment, trying to make a living and put food on the table. So I don't call fighters bums at all. I mean, you can die in sparring, let alone a fight in front. You know, a pro fight or amateur fight. You can die in sparring. The head can be fragile, but yeah, how long I've been on here? Hey, be right back, y'all. Blow, back like a spinal column. I just went 4 and over 4 KOs today, champ. A14 life. You went 4 and 0? You mean on a video game? Or you had a real fight? Quan Big Gun says, okay, maybe not a bum. I'm trying to read it. But I wouldn't consider Morrison a top fighter. I mean, what fights are you I thought George Foreman beat Tommy Morrison though. I gotta say that. I didn't think Morrison won that. Lewis, Tyson, Holyfield, Bo, etc. Those were yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, they were yeah. I don't think Morrison could have beat any of those guys. Nah, he was kind of on the second tier level. I would say Lewis, Tyson, Holyfield, and Bo were like up here. Morrison was probably on that next level, but if he hit you with that left hook, he could give anybody a nice concussion. If you can call a concussion nice. Spook says, what's your opinion on transgenders in boxing? Yeah, I'm not. That's some craziness to me. Like, or in any sports, because you're not really getting a man, you're not really getting what you're supposed to get. You know, the world is different. I tell you that, man. The world is different. If you grew up in the 80s and 90s, even the 70s, if you were in a coma all them decades and you somehow came out today, you'd be like, what in the world is this? And can I go back into my coma? ASAP. Yeah, the world is a trip though, man. There's a lot of agendas out there. A lot of agendas. You just have to know what's what. Always follow the money, see who's making the money from what, and you can kind of solve a lot of these equations that appear to be mysterious. You're like, oh, they're getting paid to say this, and they're getting paid to do this. So, oh, it's starting to make sense now. Okay. I was wondering. So, yeah, just follow the money. That'll tell you pretty much what you need to know about agendas. Don't be a sheep. Yeah, man. I wish we saw Bo Lewis too, Quan. I I was saying yesterday that Eddie Futch, who trained Riddick Bowe, admitted years later that he purposely kept Riddick Bowe away from Lennox Lewis because he didn't think his guy could beat Lewis. And we know Lewis stopped Bowe in 2 rounds in the Olympics, but that was the fight everybody wanted to see. Lewis Bowl, but then Lewis got stopped early with McCall, and then Bowl I think got roughed up by Galata, and them fights never happened. Like I've said, a lot of times Bowl's speech was never the same after that first Galata fight. His speech was slurring right after, so Lennox Lewis would have really torn him up by then. I have to say one of my favorites was Nigel Benn. You just never knew what the he was gonna happen was gonna happen. Waiting for the comment to move up. He was the embodiment of he was the embodiment of a fighter being dangerous when in trouble. Yeah, Nigel Benn was yeah, he was serious, man. Nigel Benn. Remember when he had the dreads, man? That dude was serious. Nigel Benn. A lot of the UK is deep now. There was a period where people thought fighting anybody from the UK was going to be a walk in the park. Now it's the opposite. It's almost like fighting anybody from America might be a walk in the park, especially in the heavyweight division. We ain't really got nobody over here. It's like Lennox Lewis ran through America like a tsunami. Spook says, dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Talk to him, Spook. But what are some other fights that never happened that we wanted to see? Well, you can say Mayweather Pacquiao because that happened way too late, and the fight wasn't even exciting once it happened. So it's like we got the fight, but we really didn't get it. But what are some heavyweight fights that we never got? I would have liked to see someone mentioned it yesterday. I think it was Addery. It would have been nice to see Holyfield fight Ike Beabuchi. That would have been a crazy fight. They both were 6'2". Ike was in the 240s. Holyfield around 215. That would have been a war. I might have to do a video on that. I did one on what would have happened between Ike Beabuchi and Mike Tyson, but I might have to talk about what would have happened between Evander Holyfield and Mr. Beabuchi, who's still in great shape to this day. Both guys. You can see Evander training on his Instagram, and you can go to YouTube and see Ike training there. Do you guys think Fury and Usyk will actually fight in May? Or do you think there'll be another mysterious cut or reason to pull out? I just know Fury said like he's not pulling out. He said I'm not paying no 10 million because Prince Turkey was like, hey man, you're gonna have to break me off if you pull out the next fight. You're gonna have to come up off some dough. And you're gonna have me looking bad. I think they'll fight. I said before that I wouldn't believe it till I saw them actually in the ring, but I think the fact that Tyson Fury would have to come off 10 million. Little Bullet said I have my doubts. Yeah, I still kind of do, but I'm hoping. I'm hoping because of that 10. If it wasn't for that 10 million clause, I really would have my doubts. But um, I think is Fury training over there in Saudi Arabia? Because if so, they might be like, if he tries to pull out, like, you're not leaving the country till you go to the ATM real quick. If he tries to pull out, it'd be like, the ATM is right down there, man, and I don't think you could get 10 million out, so you're gonna have to wait till the bank opens, and you're not leaving until you pay us, man. So I think Fury may not want to pull out of this fight. It just wouldn't be a good look. Jeremy Tabler, what's up? Can I say hi? Absolutely. What up, Jeremy? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you taking time to watch the live stream. We're just talking about heavyweight boxing or any fights coming up, you know. Shout out to you, Jeremy. What's up? What's interesting, going back to Anthony Joshua and Ngannou, is everybody kept talking about the size and strength of Ngannou, and I told him on fight night it's not going to look that much different, and you can see that. But you got to remember, AJ lifts a lot of weights, so when they're in the clinch, Joshua wasn't feeling that same, like, oh man, I'm overwhelmed here, like Fury was feeling. Joshua was fine with it. Quan Big Gun says, I think Usyk beats Fury, and I do too. I once picked Fury, but when I saw Fury didn't want no parts of Usyk, I said he must know something I don't know. And he said he's had problems with people Usyk size before, so I'm like, Usyk wins this. If Usyk doesn't win, I think it's a draw. But I don't see Fury beating Usyk. He's just too busy. Little Bullet says, I bet that 10 million penalty shock Fury to the soles of his shoes. I bet that 10 million. Yeah, I bet when he heard that, he was like, oh, yeah, I guess I better get in the gym and get myself in tremendous shape, or I will be patting my own pockets. Jeremy Tabler said, you're the best. Nah, man. I appreciate you for being cool. You get a lot of trolls on here, so it's cool to meet nice people, you know. You can't let the trolls get to you though. That's the times we live in. People feel safe behind the screen doing this or doing this. Do people still have laptops? I mean, I know I do, but you can pretty much do everything you need on a cell phone these days. Pretty much portable laptops. Jeremy Tabler, I'm a kid. Oh, okay, shout out to you. Matthew Bean, everyone thought Joshua would lose. Yeah, Matthew. They're like, Joshua, he's just, I mean, Ngannou's just too big. Like, Joshua hasn't been a two-time heavyweight champion. It's amazing, man. I always say if you see the majority going one way, then go the other way, because the majority is usually wrong. The majority is usually sheeple. If they say go left, yeah, definitely want to go right. Jeremy says, I'm a big fan. Appreciate that. Yeah, shout out to you and Matthew and everybody in on the chat. I appreciate it. Little Bullet says, I thought he'd win, but not that easily. You talking about AJ? Yeah. I said it would be easy work, but I you know, I think his former trainer, Robert Garcia, said that he had picked AJ to win in 3 or less, so he called it. I said it would be easy work, but I didn't know it'd be like that easy. It's like Ngannou looked like he had been hit with an aluminum baseball bat. I guess that's what it felt like, because he said in the post-fight press conference that he didn't even feel the punch. I guess that's a true knockout when you don't remember nothing. You just wake up like, oh, hey, why am I standing in the middle of a boxing ring and everybody's asking, am I okay? Of course I'm okay. What just happened? Yeah. Yes, indeed. And plus, I think it was the second knockdown when Joshua hit Ngannou and he bounced on his butt and you could see his whole face shaking, his lips, like that really jarred his head. The way he felt really jarred his brain. I mean, 270 something hitting the mat like that. Matthew Bean says, yeah, Joshua put smack on him that last knockdown, like he not even moving. Yeah, man, that was scary. Do you guys remember if the ref even counted, or did the ref just wave it off? Usually, if you fall too crazy, the ref will just be like, oh, you can tell he ain't getting up. I'm going to have to go back and see. 1 second, y'all. Right back again. What up, y'all? Sorry about that. Had some groceries dropped off. So, yeah. How long I've been on here? About an hour and 22 minutes. Jeremy, shout out to you. Happy birthday. It's your birthday. Shout out to you, Jeremy. Little Bullet says, Jeremy, many happy returns of the day. He says, thanks. Yeah, man. And many more, man. Many more. Matthew Bean says, you and forces. Are you talking to me? Let me close these blinds. No, you mean the military? No, I've never been in the military. Nah, I don't do too good with people yelling in my face and screaming and getting spit all over me. But shout out to all those that do it. In the army, nah, never been in the army. Used to box and play football though. Matthew Bean says, okay, fair one, bro. Yeah, shout out to everybody that serves in the army, the Navy, the Marines, all that. Navy SEALs. You ever seen that show Bear Grylls? You seen the episode Anthony Joshua was on there? It's kind of interesting. Matthew, oh, you too? Okay. That's what's up. Yeah, you remember when Riddick Bowe joined the military and he could he couldn't hack it and he got up out of there. Yeah, Bear Grylls is an interesting show, man. I wonder does he still come on? I used to like watching some Bear Grylls. You get to see how brave people are. It's an interesting name too, Bear Grylls. So I guess the next big fight we have is Fury Usyk. Fury Usyk, I guess, especially in the heavyweight division. I don't think there's no big fights coming up. Matthew Bean says Tyson, Jake Paul. You mean who do I like in that fight? Tyson or Jake Paul? I got if it's not an exhibition and it's no headgear, no big old cotton balls for gloves. If it's a legitimate fight, I got Mike Tyson all day, every day. True boxing fan 144. Shout out to you, man. He says I like your channel, man. Keep it up. Hey, shout out to you. Shout out to you. I appreciate that. Yeah, shout out to you. Matthew Bean says, yeah, like Tyson. I like Tyson. Can't stand Jake. Yeah, yeah. Jake is Jake is he can fight, but people are acting like he's a world beater, which he's not. He just carefully knew who to pick, and I think that's why some people are thinking, oh, he can beat Mike Tyson because everybody he picks he can beat. Well, he didn't beat Tommy Fury, and that fight was a lot closer than I thought it'd be, though. I thought Tommy was going to do a lot more. I don't know. Maybe he was nervous. But shout out to you, True Boxing Fan 144. I appreciate you tuning in. Matthew Bean says he is all money for best training camps, and Tommy should have done better. Yeah, man, Tommy should have definitely done better. I wanted a knockout. True Boxing Fan says, why do you think AJ and Ben Davison are a great duo? Because it seems like Ben Davison was able to tap into something that brought not only the old AJ back, but a more dangerous AJ. And I like the fact that Ben Davison is like, if you watch NFL here in America, the great Bill Belichick, who's won I don't know how many Super Bowls with Tom Brady, they were like this, and it's like you just mesh good with some trainers. I didn't think Derrick James was, a good fit for AJ, even though Joshua knocked out Hellenius under him. I just think Ben Davison studies tape so much and notices fine details that I think and he's like a therapist, like Boxing Wave said. He's like a therapist. He knows how to get in your mind if you have certain fears or concerns. He knows how to get in there and erase those, hit delete on those. And AJ's got a confidence right now, like he don't feel like anybody could beat him. You could see it. I saw it in the Wallin fight, and we all saw it in the Ngannou fight. If you can get in the ring with Ngannou and not be intimidated, who else is going to intimidate you in the division? Ngannou was the scariest dude, even though he had only had one fight against Fury. He was the scariest dude, and he blew him out. So, I mean, who else is going to put fear in the heart of Big Femi? Matthew Bean says, all money. Little Bullet says, I can't stand Jake Paul. Personally, I'm not keen on that fight with Tyson. Yeah, if it's like I keep saying, if it's a exhibition, I ain't watching it. I'm not gonna even cover it. I'll probably do a video on who won, but I'm not gonna spend no more money on dudes like just tapping each other and then pulling punches. Nah, I'm not watching that. I have no interest in that. Okay, I'm gonna hit you here, but kind of make sure that you kind of get out of the way. Yeah, like Roy Jones. Yeah, that you talking about that Roy Jones NDO or the Roy Jones Tyson? The Roy Jones NDO champ was really that was some trash right there. I thought that was gonna be a legitimate fight the way they kept having the press conferences and the weigh in. Then it was like, what is this, man? Is this a video game or a fight? That was some nonsense. I don't even know if the people that paid for it knew what they were going to get until they saw it. I bet everybody was trying to get their money back. Matthew Bean says Tyson. Yeah, that fight was crazy. It's like I was disappointed with that Roy Jones Tyson fight. Rubbish, yeah, absolute rubbish. Yeah, that was trash right there. People pay their hard earned money to see a fight. They don't want to see no game of tag. Had that been a real legitimate fight, Roy Jones would have got knocked out. Roy Jones probably knows that himself. Truth Boxing Fan 144. It hurts to say, but it seems like Derek teaches only the basic, but then it's up to the fighter to go out there and perform. I think Spence would have been a beast with another trainer. Yeah, there was some talks that Spence and Derek James were going to split ways after that fight, but I guess not. I guess they're going to stay together. But yeah, I don't think Derek James is all that everybody's making him out to be. I don't know how well he communicates with his fighters. I just don't. Some trainers are hype and some are legit. Like some fighters are hype and some are legit. Only time will tell though. So far, Ben Davison brought Tyson Fury back, and he's brought AJ back. I'm not gonna give Ben all the credit because the fighter still has to go out there and do the work. But Ben obviously knows what he's doing. Little Bullet says, "I'm not watching any of those YouTuber fights. Not interested. Yeah, I don't. I can't blame you on that. I could not blame you on that." True Boxing Fan 144 says, what does it say? Says, dude doesn't watch boxing tape. This is madness. You talking about a certain fighter? Yeah, they're I think Floyd Mayweather said he doesn't watch tape of fighters. I would always watch footage. I just want to know what I'm getting into the ring with. I want to look for little slips and mess ups and capitalize off things. I'm gonna try to get every advantage possible. I don't get that not watching tape. I never understood that unless they're really watching tape and just trying to like these rappers that say I don't write my rhymes. It's all off the dome. Like, oh really? You freestyled your whole album? Oh, Derek James does. Yeah, I think I heard him say that. I forgot that. I think I talked about that way back. Derek James doesn't watch boxing tape. That is a man I would never have in my corner. I don't watch boxing tape, but I'm gonna train you on how to beat this guy. How you gonna do that, Derek? Off instinct? I'm pretty sure you didn't win all of your fights. So if you didn't win all of your fights when you were boxing, I'm not gonna trust your instinct. You better watch some tape. I must say I'm super impressed with anyway. Oh yeah, that dude, man. That dude, whew, he can punch, can he? I remember who's the black dude he fought. I remember some people thought that he was gonna win that. Man, he tore that dude up. Matthew Bean says never big fan, Lloyd. And it says back again. Matthew Bean says survival points, boxer, smart. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, that dude. It's like certain dudes were just, born to box. Teddy Atlas always says punchers are born. You can't teach power. You can teach boxing techniques and skill, and you can teach how to throw to get the most out of your punch. But yeah, I think he's right. I think punchers are born. Well, it's been nice, y'all. I guess I'm gonna get off of here, and yeah, might have some videos to do. Shout out to everybody watching, Matthew Bean, everybody that's come in. I appreciate you. Hope you have a great night. To all the trolls, catch me outside. J. Roos Theory, LSR. Shout out to you, Lil Bullet. Be fearless. Yeah.